Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Waffle Time. It's Waffle Time. And this is designed by Maxim DeMeyer, and it is published by AEG.
You guys, it's the beginning of the year. There's so many New Year's resolutions going on, all that kind of stuff. I know I've got some to try to eat better, but how could you possibly be eating better when you're constantly thinking about waffles? And that is all I'm doing when I'm playing Waffle Time. Is I'm thinking about them tasty waffles.
I did get hungry when we were playing this game.
Basically, you were trying to make a waffle as delicious as possible. The more delicious you make it, the more points you're going to get. I'll give you a hint. Lots and lots of syrup. That's how you make it tastier. All right, let me give you a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Waffle Time. Each player is going to get a waffle board, but they're also going to be dealt one of these syrup cards. On the back, it's also going to give you kind of a randomized setting to start off with. It's going to tell you where to put some whipped cream, as well as some starting fruit. So here's our starting card. We've already got it set up over here. And now we're going to flip it over to show our syrup. We're going to start the game off with 6 syrup tokens. Then, based off the player count, we might get some more. So, we randomize our starting players. We have the purple player. We're going to start off with 2 syrup, as it indicates there. We're going to add those to our syrup card. That's one of the main things you want to do in this game, is you want to add syrup to your waffle on top of fruit. All right, so this is kind of the main scoring of the game. If you can get syrup on top of fruit, it's worth 1 point apiece. If you can get syrup on top of fruit on top of whipped cream, that's worth 3 points. You're also going to have these butter tokens here. They're worth 2 points apiece. And then also, if you manage to completely finish the game with no syrup in your syrup container, that's worth 2 points. You actually want to finish the game with no extra syrup. You want to have exactly the right amount. In addition, we have some scoring parameters up here that vary across the top. The first one to meet one of those parameters gets that butter token, but then everyone at the end of the game is going to get a chance to score those. There are different things like having certain configurations of syrup. This has a little kind of a plus sign, or maybe you have 4 of one type of fruit, 4 of another type of fruit. That's going to give you those victory points. All right, the last kind of card is these different syrup cards across the top here. Basically, by fruit, they're going to tell you a different way that you can add on syrup to those different fruits. Here we have 3 cherries in a row. If you have 3 cherries in a row, you get to add in syrup from your supply to your board. If you have this configuration of blackberries, you're going to be able to add on syrup onto those. There are 3 cards for each one of the fruits, so you can randomize those at the beginning of the game and choose one of them for each fruit to use for that particular game, so we have a lot of replayability. Each fruit kind of follows a theme, but basically you're trying to set up some kind of a pattern based off whatever card was dealt out there, and if you're able to do that, you're able to add syrup to that kind of fruit. Over here we kind of have our drafting board. This is going to give us all the information that we need. This is where a lot of the player interaction is going to happen. That's where all of the different resources are going to be given. It's going to track our rounds. Everything happens by way of this little board here. There are some resources on that board. Those are not for taking. Those are for showing what you will take from the big kind of huge supply of resources over here. The first player is going to take their token. They're going to put it into one of the cutout edges. They're going to take the 2 associated items directly in front of it, and they're going to add that to their waffle adjacent to each other. So in this case, they would take a banana and a cherry. They'd put them somewhere on their board next to each other. Same thing with the green player. They're going to go over here. They're going to grab a cherry and a blackberry. Or we're the purple player. Now it's our turn. Let's go over here. Let's grab 2 cherries. All right, we need to place this on our board. Let's do it right there. So they have to be adjacent to each other. And now, because we were able to create 3 cherries in a row, we have now met the requirement for that particular card. And now we're able to take some syrup from our supply and put it on those cherries. To set up for the next round, what we're going to do is whoever was farthest away from the counter there, they are going to go into 3rd position and take 2 syrups. We're the second player, so we're going to get 1 syrup. Add back to our token pile here. And then whoever was first player, let's say they get to be first player again. This is now going to rotate 1 spot. And whatever is in that column there with the fork, those are all going to flip over. Now we're going to see a new variety of items that we can draft. We're going to keep on doing that over and over again, trying to add fruit and whipped cream and syrup to our board so that we can get the maximum amount of points. We're going to play a total of 8 rounds. So basically this is going to move around the entire board once. It's kind of messy, but once it gets here, the game will finish. At that point, again, we're going to go through our card here, and we're going to add up all of our points from our syrup that are on fruits, our syrup that are on fruit on cream, any buddy tokens that we've earned, and to see if we've lost any or lost all of our syrup. Then again, we're going to go over those cards over here that were dealt out at the beginning of the game, see if you've met any of those parameters, and you're going to add up all those points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
This was definitely fun to play with our family. We played it with our 6-year-old the first time we played. Oh my gosh, she loved it. She got it. She understood it. She was trying to get to certain places. She understood, like, to go further off because she knew that she wanted to get more syrup, even though she didn't understand, like, I need to place all these syrups. She just liked getting all the syrups all the time. But she understood it enough to try to get the shapes, and she just really loved it. She liked that you're making these waffles. She liked the fruit. And the beginning of the game, the first game we played, she set up all the fruits to let me know all the different fruit that's in Waffle Time.
Here's your options.
Yes, these are the things that you're trying to do. But she had a blast, and it says 10 and up, but our 6-year-old was able to get it.
All right, so there's a lot of variety within this because you can make your waffles a lot of different ways. But what's gonna
like in real life.
Yeah, basically, lots of different options. No, but really, there's a whole different cards that give you a different variety of setups. Then there's a variety of cards that give you how you're going to get your syrup onto your fruit. And then there's a variety of cards that tell you how you're going to apply that stuff. So everything one of those is a different variety of cards. So every time you play, it's going to be a different setup and a different ways that you're applying all this.
Oh my gosh. That drafting board was one of the coolest things I've seen in a game in such a long time. I love it when a game does everything for me so I don't have to think about the bookkeeping of it. So keeping track of that, just the drafting, you're keeping track of your turn order that way. You're keeping track of the syrups you're getting. You're keeping track of the variety, and you're keeping track of the game length, the time of the game. It did all this thing in this simple board, and all I had to do as a player was go boop, boop, boop. That was it. That was all that it required of me. But the drafting board did so much for you as a gamer. I just thought it was the coolest thing. I love seeing that. The first time we played, I just kept talking about it. Like, I'm sure Ryan was like sick and tired of me. But from a design aspect, I just loved how that drafting board did everything. Like, it took so much. You could have added so many more components and had to take care of things in different ways. But that one little thing of just going around and doing that took care of everything for you. And it was so cool.
I'm not a player who thinks a lot about how things look on the table. If it looks cool, I'm gonna mention it. I'm gonna notice it. If it looks okay, I'm still gonna focus on the gameplay. It's not gonna be a big deal. All right, but what's interesting is this had such kind of clean, simple gameplay that the aesthetics were kind of shown, right? You were able to kind of look at this waffle that you're making and see all these different patterns. Those little beads they got to make the syrup, it looked amazing. They looked like you were putting on syrup on your waffle. And the whipped cream and all that stuff. It just looked really fantastic on the board. Everyone has their own little waffle they're creating. And even if you don't necessarily win, you made this cool looking thing. It was a tasty looking thing. So I felt like it was a very strong look to the table.
Okay, but how do I really feel about this game? How do you really feel about this game? How do you think I really feel about this game?
I don't know. I feel like hungry.
I feel hungry thinking about this game. Okay, so this game has been sitting on our need to be played shelf for a while, and I just didn't really care about it, I guess. I had saw a quick introductory of it, and I was like, okay, you're making waffles, whippity doo-dah, who cares? And then we played it, and I was like, this is amazing. I even looked up this dude. I was like, has he designed any more games? Maxim, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. This is a first time design. That's what it said when I was reading all of that. And I'm like, yay, I hope he does more stuff because this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. It was like a sleeper hit for me. Was not anticipating it to be nearly as fun as it was. Was not anticipating to enjoy it as much as I did, but I really, really did. I liked Waffle Time. Waffle Time is a good time.
Amen. Anytime I'm eating waffles, it's a good time.
Yeah.
This game is simple. It is clear. It's clean. It looks cool. It plays well. It's easy to teach. All those things about the game that I think are going to make it, do really well. Okay, so I mentioned the theme a lot of times. I think the theme might also have potentially a negative backdrop to it. I feel like there's going to be some gamers who are looking at a bunch of games on the shelf and thinking about which ones to play, and they're going to see Waffle Time and this fun art and the title Waffle Time, and they're going to think it's frivolous. I don't feel like playing that or whatever. I'm going to go back to my core games, my real themes. As if, zombies are real and zombies aren't completely frivolous themselves.
Yeah.
But whatever the case is. So I fear that this is not going to be a game that you're going to hear talked about in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Which is a shame.
Because, like I said, it's so clean. It's such a great design. But yeah, so those are kind of my thoughts. I think that this is, if your family is into building those kind of scoring engines and making a tasty looking waffle when it's all said and done, I feel like you should check out Waffle Time.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. And also, if we hit 3,000 subscribers, we will do a top 100. So you definitely want to make that happen because I know that you're curious about stressing me out on creating that list. But until then, don't forget to find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.